For Friday, August 28th, 2009, this is NewsUndies. All the news that shouldn't be news. I'm Paul Torville with these headlines. Republican U.S. Senator from Nevada, John Ensign, claims to have done nothing legally wrong. He has admitted having an extramarital affair with a former campaign worker. However, he has not denied doing anything patently stupid, morally reprehensible, or indicative of conduct not becoming U.S. Senator. We're still waiting for those denials. Recently deceased Democratic U.S. Senator from Massachusetts, Edward Kennedy, had asked the Massachusetts legislature to modify its succession law for U.S. senators to essentially allow him to handpick his successor through recommendations to Democratic Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, rather than allowing his seat to be vacant during the debate and voting on health care reform. Now that Kennedy is dead, his seat will remain vacant for at least 145 days, which is enough to likely make it a non-issue for health care reform. Ramadan. As you may have heard, Christians think this fellow Jesus was the Son of God, while Jews don't. As you might imagine, this has been a source of conflict for centuries. Here's me with the latest round. Okay, so leading rabbis from the three main Jewish sects in the United States, those would be your Orthodox, your Conservative, and your Reform, are honked off at the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops for a correction it issued to a 2002 document entitled The Covenant and Mission, which erroneously downplayed, well, we won't say proselytizing the Jews, but just shy of it. So Catholics basically want to tell the Jews, Jesus really is the Messiah and your only path to salvation. You don't have to convert or anything, we're just saying is all. To which the Jews apparently are replying, not on your life, mister. And that, boys and girls, is why we will never have peace among humans as long as there is religion. Standing in front of a Jewish temple for some reason, I'm Paul Torville for NewsUndies. More news after this. Hey gang, it's time for celebrity birthdays once again. I got my cake hat on, let's rock! For Saturday the 22nd, Dorothy Parker, dead! Cindy Williams, Vernon Reid. For Sunday the 23rd, Keith Moon, dead! Rick Springfield, River Phoenix, dead! For Monday the 24th, Letizia Romolino, mother of Napoleon Bonaparte, dead! Yasser Arafat, dead! Mike Huckabee. For Tuesday the 25th, Monty Hall, Sean Connery, Chaim Vitz, who you might know better as Gene Simmons. For Wednesday the 26th, Peggy Guggenheim, dead. Albert Sabin, dead. Mother Teresa, dead. For Thursday the 27th, Lyndon Johnson, dead. Daryl Dragon, Paul Rubens. For Friday the 28th, Leo Tolstoy. He's dead. Melvin Dumar. Jack Black. That's celebrity birthdays. I'm Paul Torville and I'm done! Pope, the cat, just watch. Pope Benedict XVI has recognized the Shrine of Mary, Queen of the Universe, in Orlando, Florida as a minor basilica. Fortunately, it's right next to an outlet mall and just a mile and a half from the entrance to Walt Disney World. And the best part? Well, they've got a gift shop. Standing in front of a Catholic church for NewsUndies, I'm Paul Torville. Thanks, me. Michelle Obama in shorts. You might think that methadone is the best treatment for heroin addiction. Turns out it's not. Here's me with the rest of the story. A recent study published in the New England Journal of Medicine shows that heroin addicts who are given the active ingredient in heroin rather than methadone are more likely to keep coming back for treatment. Huh. Didn't see that coming. Standing in front of a hospital for some reason, I'm Paul Torville for NewsUndies. Thanks, me. Considering that healthcare debate has devolved into name-calling and perpetuating a variety of big lies, the origins of which can only be speculated, it seems the best thing to do is to bring us back to more reasoned discussion from a few weeks back. Here are Pig and Sheep to try and bring us back to the real issue.
The free market is the only way to run the healthcare system. Sure, there's insurance in the free market, but that's run by companies that are in the market for a profit. And then there's the doctors and the hospitals that are there to make a profit too. And drug and equipment makers need their cut. The insurance companies are betting that you don't get sick and just die in your sleep, but only after having paid the highest possible premiums for the longest possible time. The doctors, hospitals, and drug and equipment makers are all hoping that you will get sick with something chronic and difficult to diagnose, requiring constant attention for years. Seems perfectly fair to me. You know, sometimes he tiptoes right up to the edge of rationality, does a quick pirouette, and jetes back to Wackoville. Look, as long as someone can profit from you being sick, it will be in their interest to keep you that way. As long as someone can profit from refusing you care, it will be in their interest to do so. The free market healthcare system places you, the patient, between two powerful but opposed forces, and at times in your life when you are most vulnerable. The time has come to take profit out of the equation and make health and quality of life the sole focus of the healthcare system, from top to bottom.
Well, that's what Pig and Sheep think. What are your thoughts? Email your comments to ovcomments@newsundies.com. Apple ships its latest point release of Mac OS X. Apparently, it's a pretty big deal. It costs $29. If you've got the money and you're feeling adventurous, I guess dive in. A woman who slipped and fell on a wet floor while walking past an exhibition of performing dolphins at Brookfield Zoo in Chicago is suing the Chicago Zoological Society and the Forest Preserve District of Cook County for $50,000. The suit charges that zoo officials, quote, recklessly and willfully trained and encouraged the dolphins, end quote, to hurl water at the spectators and failed to notify people that the floor was wet and as a result might be slippery. Apparently, Allison Edwards, the named plaintiff in the suit, has never encountered water, floors, or gravity, and has certainly never seen a Three Stooges short. We'll have more news after this.
You'll notice that when you watch NewsUndies, I'm always wearing a shirt from the Ursus Pacificus Kitsch Cave. Well, now you can too. You can help support NewsUndies by going to the Ursus Pacificus Kitsch Cave and getting some kitsch.
Bumpaholics. Nadia Suleman. You remember her, right? The 38-year-old Angelina surgery-alike with 6 children, all by in vitro fertilization, with no job or visible means of support other than her parents, who then decided to go in for one more try, popped out 8 more kids, a move which she's occasionally been reported to state that she regrets. Her, whom, for the purposes of this story, we'll call Pot. Well, Ms. Pot has recently remarked that Kate Gosselin, you know her, the mother of 8, star of TLC's John and Kate Plus 8, recipient of a free tummy tuck from the father of the fresh-faced, childless 20-something who stole her douchebag husband. You know her. Well, we'll call her Mrs. Kettle for the purposes of this story. Ms. Pot has called Mrs. Kettle an attention seeker, or, for the purposes of this story, black. And finally, and I do mean finally, we all saw this coming, didn't we? Tom Ridge, former Homeland Security Secretary, has finally decided to come out and tell us that pressure to raise the official terror alert level ahead of the 2004 election from fellow cabinet members was his cue to leave the service of then-President George W. Bush. Of course, others serving in the Bush administration during that time refute his claim. Never saw that coming. Oh, and while we've got your attention, Tom, couldn't you have told us about this in advance of the 2004 election? Huh? Could you? You think? Maybe? Huh? Well, that's all for this edition of NewsUndies. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Paul Torville. After that, you might be Paul Torville.